Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we're taking a look at another figure for the hashtag Hawaii Safari campaign. So Marvin, bring it out. Thank you, Marvin. So today guys, we are going to be taking a look at this. It is the Safari Ltd Gastornis. Safari Ltd so kindly included this in the third batch of figures that they sent us for the hashtag Hawaii Safari campaign. So I cannot wait to take a closer look at this amazing prehistoric bird. So without further ado, let's start with the review. Before we start taking a closer look at the figure, here are a few quick facts about Gastornis itself. Gastornis Parisiensis means Gaston's bird. It was a large prehistoric bird that lived after the dinosaurs in the Cenozoic era. The largest individuals could grow over 7 feet tall. Fossil specimens have been found around the world in Belgium, China, England, France, Germany, and the United States of America. Being a very large flightless bird, Gastornis had very well developed legs that assisted it in reaching high speeds when running. The diet of Gastornis is still being debated, with some thinking it was an herbivore and others thinking that it was a carnivore, using its very large and powerful beak to rip into flesh. But one study concerning the diet of Gastornis took a look at the calcium isotopes preserved in its fossils. When analyzed, the isotopes clearly showed that the Gastornis fossils tested came from herbivores and not from carnivores. So it is mostly believed that Gastornis used its powerful beak to shear through tough vegetation. So without further ado guys, let's start taking a closer look at this awesome prehistoric bird. So starting up at the head, you can see the lovely detail that Safari Ltd has put into this figure, and I absolutely love the color scheme as well. I'm assuming that they intended to make a male Gastornis in this figure because of the bright blue coloration in the face and the red scarlet color around the eye. You can see the eye in a glossy black paint there, so the light catches it really nicely. Looks great. Here you can see the very large powerful beak that Gastornis has, and they've painted it in a goldenrod yellow color, which looks really cool. You can also see the nostrils carved out on both sides of the beak there. Those look really nice. And if you can see inside the beak there, the mouth has been sculpted and painted, and there is a tongue there, which is detailed really nicely. So moving from the head and up into the neck, you can see some really nice dark gray feathers there, almost in black on the top here, transitioning down into a lighter gray color. Those look really nice, and I love the sculpt on the feathers. So moving down the neck and into the body, you can see how the feathers get larger in the sculpt here, and this is all done in a light gray color, which looks good. So moving from the body and into the small front wing, you can see the very tiny front wings that Gastornis had. Now naturally, because Gastornis was so large and its wings were so small, it was a flightless bird, but it still had these very tiny wings here, and Safari Ltd has detailed them very nicely with these black feathers on the wing there. Those look really nice. So moving from the front wing and into the top of the left leg, you can see how the gray feathers transition into the bird's skin area, which is in a light peach color. The skin detailing is done really nicely, and if you just look at the leg, it looks like the leg of a theropod dinosaur with the way the scaling is done on top there. That looks really nice. Here you can see the Gastornis' claws done in a glossy black color. Those look really nice. And moving up the leg and into the tail area, you can see the short tail that scientists assume that Gastornis had. Much like other large flightless birds like the emu and the ostrich, they have short tails, but with very large feathers. As you see, Safari Ltd has sculpted these very large gray feathers into the tail, so those look beautiful. So spinning around to the other side, you can see some more of those large feathers in the sculpt there. Those look really nice. And moving down the right leg, you can see how this one is pushing backwards while the other one is pushing forwards, and it's in a striding position. Again, really lovely detailing in the skin on the Gastornis' legs, and I really love the detailing of the black claws on the feet there. Those look absolutely beautiful. So moving up the right leg and into the right wing on the Gastornis, you can see the very tiny right wing that this giant flightless bird had. Again, really lovely detailing. I love the separation in the feathers there, and I love the black feathers on the base of the wing. So moving up from the body and into the neck, you can see the other side of the neck here done really nicely, transitioning into a darker gray, which then transitions into an almost black color for the feathers. And then we move into the other side of that beautiful head sculpt that we saw earlier. I absolutely love the blue color with the ring of scarlet around the eye. Really brings out the color, and it's really nicely detailed. So in terms of scientific accuracy with this figure, there really is nothing to be said. Safari Ltd have done a fantastic job once again. Now I have had the chance to see a couple Gastornis skeletons in person at some museums, and they look almost identical to this Gastornis here, except this one is based off of the real animal and just the skeleton, of course, but the shaping is done really nicely, and I love the dull color scheme over the body, very similar to some modern large flightless birds, but then the really bright blue color on the head there with the scarlet color just really feels naturalistic as a male Gastornis, and the blue color on the face actually reminds me a lot of the modern day cassowary bird, which is one of my favorite large flightless birds. So yeah, great job Safari Ltd, I absolutely love this piece. Alright, so you're probably wondering just how big this figure is, so Marvin, bring out the ruler. Thank you, Marvin. Alright, so we have our trusty flexi ruler now, so let's give this Gastornis a measure. So in terms of the length from the top of the head all the way to the tip of the tail feathers, we are looking at 4 inches. And in terms of the height at the highest point, which is the top of the back of the neck feathers there, we are looking at about 2.5 inches. For comparison, here's the Safari Ltd Gastornis next to the Safari Ltd Megalodon. We just reviewed this one on the channel, so if you want to see the review, link is down below. I think these two figures look great on display next to each other, and I definitely recommend them, especially if you're fans of creatures that live after the dinosaurs. Next up for comparison, here's the Safari Ltd Gastornis next to the Safari Ltd Woolly Mammoth Baby. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be in the description down below. I think these two figures look great next to each other on display, and again, if you're a fan of creatures that live after the dinosaurs or Ice Age creatures, I definitely recommend picking up these models. The Woolly Mammoth Baby from Safari Ltd is adorable, and it was just released this year for 2016, so make sure you go check it out. And finally, for comparison, here's the Safari Ltd Gastornis next to the 2016 Safari Ltd Dodecurus. If you want to see the review for this figure, link will be down below. Now, Gastornis and Dodecurus would have never met up in real life, but a close relative of Gastornis, the Forus racos, actually did live alongside Dodecurus. Forus racos was slightly bigger than Gastornis, but they share most of the same features. And even though the scale is off with both of these models, I think they still look great on display next to each other, so I definitely recommend picking them up. Well, there we go, guys. That was today's look at the Safari Ltd Gastornis. I think this is a fantastic figure, and I definitely recommend picking it up, especially if you're a fan of terror birds and other creatures that lived after the dinosaurs. So if you guys want to pick up this model for yourselves, make sure to go to www.safarilimited.com. Also be sure to check out their other amazing products. And if you want to learn more about the #HowISafari campaign, be sure to check out their Facebook page and other social media. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe. Also leave a comment telling me your opinion on this model. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.